me say hello to each of you again for another installment of On the Porch with Pastor. It's getting a little chilly this time of year in anticipation of a Thanksgiving celebration, and I tell you what, if this year hasn't taught you to be thankful for what you have, what's it going to take, huh? But we're trusting that I don't know that this will be the last installment before Thanksgiving, but most likely. But this installment has got a really simple title because the subject is rather simple, simply called Guys. When I was 6 years old, my parents gave me a rifle for Christmas. It was a pop gun, which they considered harmless, which is why they bought it for me. What they hadn't counted on was a boy's capacity to turn even the most innocuous object into an instrument of violence. While it is true that the gun couldn't fire a bullet, it did make one heck of a club, which I learned while engaging my brother in hand-to-hand combat. Shortly after that, my mother grew concerned about war toys and wouldn't buy us many more guns. That was fine with us, since by then we had discovered football. Mr. Smitherman was my football coach. I don't remember much about him, except that he was always yelling at us to kill the other team. That was on Saturdays. On Sundays, he taught us Sunday school, mostly stuff from the Old Testament about God smiting people. All of this was done, of course, to prepare us, guys, for the real world, which would chew us up and spit us out if we weren't tough. What it actually did was turn us into insensitive brutes whose idea of entertainment was making body noises with our armpits. Then it came time for us to date, and we had to be sensitive, which to us meant not laughing out loud at Barry Manilow's songs. Then we went away to college and began bathing regularly, which helped us persuade delicate young ladies to become our brides. So we got married and went back to being slobs. But then we had children. And one Saturday morning, our wives woke up, gave us these "are your kids too" look, and said, "I'm going out today, so you'll need to watch the kids." Which meant we had to be, I hate this word, nurturing. Yes, that's right, we had to be nurturing, which meant we had to sing nursery songs to our children. This is harder than it sounds. Mothers can do this because they have a nursery song gene. Even though we guys are at a disadvantage in this department, I was pleased to see my kids respond so favorably to my Conway Twitty. Then the unthinkable happened. My wife wanted to start working outside the home every afternoon, and she wanted me to stay home with the kids. This was not in our marriage contract, but I couldn't get out of it because the alternative would have meant working. So now I stay home almost every afternoon with my sons. At first, I found it embarrassing when I had to explain to another guy that I couldn't do something because I had to watch my sons. So I'd say things like, "Can't meet you then. My boys and I are going to work on the car that afternoon." So what if it was a Lego car? Then the oddest thing happened. I caught myself enjoying it. When I realized this, I was holding Sam on my lap, and he smiled his 10-week smile at me, and I thought how that beat any moment I'd ever spent on the golf course. I knew if I grew in the Christian faith this would happen, that one day tenderness would win out. Some of the guys don't understand this, but I don't much care. I still don't tell them I have to watch my sons. Now I tell them I get to, as if it's a special treat. And it is. You know, as I look back on raising our 4 children, there were 2 sons in there, and this strikes a chord there. God has been so gracious to give us these fine children that we've enjoyed and have become such a delight to us. The time passes so swiftly, doesn't it? But this is that time of year, inevitably, where people turn to the mushy holiday songs and mushy holiday movies on your subscribed service or cable or satellite or what have you. And I'm no different. I've gone from being that teenage, young 20s brute who was raised and weaned on all type of competitive sports and fighting and wrestling and war movies and war games. But a strange thing's happened to me lately, and my daughters were seemingly so delighted to point it out. They'll come home now and catch me watching some of these mushy holiday movies all by myself, sitting in the living room. And if I'm playing 100% candid with you, every now and again as we watch them together, I'll glisten. And I get a little tear in the eye. And I can't help it, because I'm happy to report that the tenderness of Christ has won out. Doesn't mean I still can't be a brute when I need to be, which is something that I feel inclined to remind you future gentlemen callers of at this moment. So take note. If you plan your evening strategically, you might catch me on a sensitive night. Otherwise, there's always prayer, friend. Till next time, y'all have a wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving, and know that you're loved with an everlasting love. And keep your thoughts on Christ, and keep remembering that He's coming soon, because guess what? He is. Eyes to the skies.